Hello and good morning. Welcome back to Biafra TV, where we bring you the news about Biafra actualization and Biafra movement. God bless every one of you. May the face of the Lord shine on you all. May whatever you lay your hands upon to do, may it prosper. He say. Welcome back. So my brothers and sisters, as I say, welcome back to Biafra TV. So today I am going to talk about the effect and the impact of Biafran War, the untold story of what so many families went through and still going through today. I heard that so many people who did not grow up maybe with people who have the knowledge of the war, tell them stories and things like that, may see Biafran War as a myth because Nigerian government and the Great Britain suppressed the history of the genocidal attitude of Britain, Russia, Egypt, and things like that, and some other African countries against the Biafran people. So we're going to read in the Bible before I proceed in the book of Jeremiah 31 verse 15. It says, "Thus says the Lord, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamenting, a bitter weeping. Rachel wept for her children, refused to be comforted for her children because they were not." During the time of Jesus Christ, something happened. King Herod, his west, like Ottoman Danfodio, like Dede Buhari, like El-Rufai, like Pantami, like Brutai, like every one of them who are west, who have determined in their heart that they are going to annihilate and end everything about the offsprings of Biafra. It didn't start now. So without going much further on the uncircumcised Islam, I am going to tell you my own personal story, which I know that so many of us have all great stories to tell about this Biafra. If only you listen, maybe to the elders, maybe to those around you who have something to say. This place is exactly the state of my mother. When my most elderly sister was, I heard this word rocket from my mother growing up over and over again when she was telling us the story of how the uncircumcised Fulani, Egyptian parrots, and the things like that, how they killed her daughter, who's supposed to be my most elderly sister. You know, during those days, you got married as soon as you were born. So immediately my mother was born, my mother was betrothed there. So they would just wait for you to, see your first menstrual cycle in your father's house, and off you go, which means they're marrying them then as a child, So my mother, because of her beauty, her family background and everything, every one of them always get betrothed immediately they were born. So that was the state of my mother. So my mother had my elder brother and the most elder sister. So during that period of time, when they were already back, so my mother was going to Afo Market, Obiago, in a local government area of Enugu State. So this my elder sister have to assist my mother with some of the things they are going to, especially they are going there to sell yam to see they can buy some stuff. So my elder sister have a basket of her size and my mother too. But the target of my mother is when my elder sister assists her to the major road, then she will now lift her on top of my mother's road so that my mother can now take everything to the market. So this elegant little girl of 8-10 years, approaching to the place, she refused to let my mother carry the whole burden. He said, Mama, I want to assist you. I want to help you. This is gonna be too much for you, Mama. So she pleaded with my mother that she wanted to go with her to the market. After much pleading, my mother accepted the offer of going with her. So when they reached that place, so immediately they offload what they have off their head. My mother told my sister, you have to be arranging the yams. Let me walk around and see what I can buy before some of those things finished in the market. The obedient girl began to offload the yam from the basket and things like that. So my mother just walked some feet away. The next thing my mother heard was bomb blasts of rockets from Nigerian soldiers and Egyptian soldiers, because while I do more research on this, I found out that Egypt was pirating Russia fighter jet and things like that. So they threw a rocket in the marketplace. That rocket happened to hit my sister at the back of her head, and she slumped on the hip of that very yam. So immediately the thing happens. She's just a child, and my mother wasn't as close to her. So my mother ran off. Everybody helter-skelter. So from the angle where my mother was and from the angle where my sister was wasn't the same. So everybody they now ran inside the bush. They began to bomb the place sporadically and things like that. So they killed the girl instantly. So after a while, they left. So, everybody began to, try to come out from the bushes, from wherever they hid themselves. My mother crawled back inside the market square to find her daughter dead on top of the yam. My mother picked up my sister. So when my mother looked at my mother, according to the story, she said that before they could come out, there are so many vultures, bush animals, and things like that are already roaming and eating these people. So my mother made a vow. We women, we are receivers indeed. My mother vowed that no animal will touch her daughter. So my mother have to use her wrapper, everything around, rope, whatever it is, and tied up this half-grown woman at her back. And my mother, with the pool of blood and everything, like I said, this thing took place in for Obiago, in our local government area of Enugu State. So that they are our neighboring town. So my mother have to tie my sister up at her back with the pool of blood, and my mother began to trek home. This is like almost 10 kilometers trek. It's not like just few blocks away. It's about 10 kilometers from that place to our own town and our village. My mother tied my sister up, and under the pool of blood, the blood was gushing, everything. My mother tied her up, and my mother have to carry her home, because my mother vowed that over her dead body will she alive, and a vulture or any animal will eat the flesh of her daughter. So he brought her home. My mother wept unconsolable, according to what we read in the book of Jeremiah 35 verse 15. My mother wept unconsolable. My mother refused to be comforted. My mother was like, what is life without my child? How? Not that she was sick and died, but she was killed out of ruthlessness and murderous attitude of these people. So many of us have stories to tell about Biafra. When the spirit of Biafra took over me, I don't know. I don't have anybody around me, granvating about Biafra, but I'm here to tell you that every one of us, if you could listen, have something. There is no Biafran that will say that except my family, extended or within, that wasn't affected by the genocidal attitude of Britain and the Nigerian vicious murderous government, and they are not sorry as we speak. So why I'm making this video is to encourage every one of you to know that what we are doing is not a myth. It is a reality that so many families have to live with the terrible mark of it. Because my mother carried her dead daughter, my mother sometimes she will start to inhale blood without any blood around her. For you to carry a dead person at your back and make a trek up to that length is not easy, but she did it. So my brothers and sisters, Biafra Heroes Day is a thing of fact. It's not a thing of myth. It is a reality. Life was lost through starvation, through bombing, through rocket, through all possible means, hospitals, refugee camps, market squares, everything, and Britain conceal it. It is up to you to stand up and say, enough is enough. I must tell my story by myself. Please, my brothers and sisters, I want you, even if you are devil yourself, I want you to use this opportunity to reference those who have paved the way for us. Because if our forefathers are as weak as so many of us are today, who are busy to be Esau, who sold his birthright for a bowl of beans, I don't think you and I will be here today. But these people, they pay the ultimate price. All you can do now is to reverence and to respect them. I am here to encourage you. This is my own story. So many of us have so many ugly stories. That very act changed the life of my beloved mother forever. My mother, before Jesus Christ arrested her completely, my mother had to use all kinds of things to suppress the smell of this pool of blood in her life. Every day by day was a torture to her because of what Hausa, Fulani, Britain, Russia, Egypt, Ghana, Cameroon, all of them did to our people. Don't you see a reason to rise up? I do. And may the spirit of Biafra possess you wherever you are hearing my voice. May you not be that who sold your people for usury. May you not be Judas. May you not be Esau. May the peace of the Lord be with you all. May the protection of the Lord be upon Eastern Security Network, IBOB. I love you all. May the peace of the Lord be with you. May we tell our story this time. May Biafra not be an untold story anymore. Until next time, I remain your sister.